Happy Showcase Sunday, everybody. And this week's Showcase Sunday has come from the amazing Pamela Carvell, and she is the president of the Hotel Marketing Association. And Pamela today is going to be talking about the Hotel Marketing Association and the Hotel Marketing Association Awards, which is a national awards and incredible for the hospitality industry. So, Pamela, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you do, your role in the organisation.
Yes, thank you, Alison. Thank you for having me on your Showcase Sunday. Yes, I've been involved with the Hotel Marketing Association for many, many years now. And as their press officer many years ago, I came up with this idea of us launching some hotel marketing awards, because back then, the only marketing awards in the industry were the two Katies. There was a Katie Group Marketing and a Katie Independent Marketing. There was nothing else. Now, I'm very proud of the fact that we've now recently announced the winners of the 27th Hotel Marketing Awards. So that's how long I've been involved in organising the awards for my sins. So I'm still on the Hotel Marketing Association Committee, and my major job each year is to have responsibility for the awards. Because as people who haven't been involved in awards might not realise, it is a huge job, right from when you decide what will the categories be this year. You know, because categories need to be, you need some continuity, but they need to be relevant. Then it's what criteria will we judge against? Then it's when do we get it live and announce it? Then it's about receiving all the entries in. Then it's coordinating the judging panels. Then it's getting the feedback from all the judging panels. And then it's preparing for the actual, big event when all the winners are announced. And also as part of that, I have to liaise with all the entrants who want to know or what's happening, or when I go through the entries and links aren't working or something's missing or what have you. So yes, although that's not the main thing I do, my role in the HMA as Life President is that I take responsibility for the awards each year. And we're very proud of the fact that they are exclusively hotel marketing awards, and they've been around for a long time. Over many years, I've seen on people's CVs that they won a hotel marketing award, in a certain year. In fact, I'll tell you a little funny story to start off, because we had the awards presentation recently for the 27th awards, and a gentleman at the function came up to me and said, "Hi, Pamela." He said, "I don't expect you to remember me." He said, "But in 1999 at the Savoy Hotel, at a rather wonderful Christmas luncheon, you presented me with an award when I worked for Forte Hotels." And he said, "I've never forgotten it." He said, "That's how important the awards are." So yes, I had goosebumps when he came up to my hand and told me. So, people say awards don't matter. They do matter. If they're the right awards, they matter.
I was just going to say that, and I've been very, very honoured and privileged to actually be a judge for the Hotel Marketing Association Awards. And what I find incredibly amazing about your awards is how rigorous the judging is. It's really down to detail, without giving too much away, obviously, but it's down to detail, and you really have to critique every single element to the 10th degree. And I think it's incredible that you do that. I've been judges on other awards, and I've been questioning sometimes. However, this is very much really crystal clear that you're judging on how amazing each application is, and it is an incredible process.
Yeah, I mean, I think integrity matters so much to us, the integrity of those awards and the whole judging process. Otherwise they wouldn't have existed for all this, for 27 years. And yes, again, we pride ourselves in that we make the judging criteria very clear up front when people are entering, but judges are are selected according to a long list of key criteria, because we need the judges to be independent of any entries, but we need them to have relevant expertise and experience to be able to gel with their fellow judges. And yes, and that whole process, the way we manage it, is key to the success of the awards, because we want, yes, they should be completely open to scrutiny. We pride ourselves as an organisation. I personally pride myself on the integrity that we apply to the whole of the awards, and that as well, the winners never know until the event that they've actually won. Whereas a lot of awards, you can tell that people really did know. It wasn't really a surprise. One thing we love about our awards is the winners genuinely don't know till it's announced on the evening. So when they sort of jump up and down squealing, that is genuine.
I love that. I love that. So why should anybody enter? I mean, I know why it's really important, and especially your awards as well. But why should anybody, and who as well? Who, because it's not just for the large organisations in London that a lot of people talk about a lot in the industry. You know, it's always the same people who apply. However, anybody can apply, can't they?
Yeah.
So
Yes, I mean, I think starting with why enter awards generally, I think if you enter any award as a hotel or a business, it's about giving recognition to the team, because there's always a team involved in any marketing. It's not just the person that pulled it together, because operations have to deliver a component of it. So I think entering awards potentially gives recognition to the team. I think it can give a boost to the whole hotel as well. It doesn't matter which part of the hotel the award is for. You know, it's a lovely boost, especially in these tough times that hotels have been through for the past few years. And I think that with most awards, it's receiving reassurance from industry experts that what you are doing is good, because somebody independent of your hotel or business has said, yes, it's good. I think it also sends a message out to customers that you are striving for excellence. So if you look at a website and you see that the hotel you're thinking of staying in or the restaurant you're thinking of dining in has won awards, that says to you as a potential customer that this business actually cares about what they're striving to do, that they are striving to improve, to excel, and to receive recognition. And I also think too, and several winners have mentioned this to us in recent years, to potential employees, it sends out a powerful message that you're a hotel or a business to be proud of, because if you didn't feel a sense of pride in what you do, you wouldn't enter awards. So I think there's a massive messages and benefits to entering awards generally. Now, I think in terms of why enter our awards, and I saw something very negative on LinkedIn recently where somebody was being very cynical and saying awards are just a con. You know, you pay to enter and then you pay to attend the ceremony. So it's basically a money-making exercise. Now, I was very quick to respond as the HMA to say, firstly, you don't pay to enter the HMA. We work hard to get sponsors for the awards so that we don't need to charge. So that a little 10-bed hotel can enter alongside a chain of hotels because there's no cost, doesn't matter. Secondly, we don't charge if you are shortlisted, and we obviously announce the shortlist in advance each year. You are invited to the event as a guest of the Hotel Marketing Association. So again, there is no con there either, that you're invited to attend and invited to enter completely free of charge, because we don't want it to be about that at all. So why the HMA Awards? We are the only body that represents hotel marketing. So it's the ultimate endorsement for your marketing if you're recognised by the Hotel Marketing Association. As I say, we don't charge to enter. We don't charge for being shortlisted. Our judging panels are completely independent of the entries. So even though some of our sponsors may sit on the judging panels, again, I never assign the people to judging panels until I know what entries I have, so that I can be ruthless about that. And we have sometimes had a sponsor of a category who wanted to get involved in judging, but I knew that indirectly they had an interest in one of the entries, so they couldn't judge that category that they sponsored. Yeah. Sorry, that's just the way it is, because I say the integrity of that is important, as is the confidentiality of that process. So nobody can influence judges, because we don't say who judges which category. We never make that public, not even after the event, so that judges can be completely honest. Also, we ensure that on each panel we have a mixture of experience, so that we want people, when we had you, that have represented independent hotels. We want people like, say, Matt Costin from BVA BDRC, who has more data about hotels than the rest of us could absorb in a lifetime. What he doesn't know about hotels from a data perspective isn't worth knowing. So we look for very experienced and very knowledgeable people who are prepared to give up their time to judge them, so that to get recognised by a panel of people of that calibre within hotels and marketing, I mean, it is a huge accolade. Also, we make the entry process very, very straightforward, as simple as it could be. Again, we've tried different fancy online methods that were very complicated. So now it's almost, you do it online, but it's a form and you attach the links to the creative materials. So we've made it, so again, somebody junior in an independent hotel could be asked to complete the process for you. So you're not having to, as some awards, you need to pay an agency thousands just to do the entry for you. We make ours very, very straightforward. I'm always at the end of the phone or an email to help people. So if people need that extra bit of help, then they can always get hold of me. And I think another thing about our awards is that our entry form should almost be your checklist for any marketing activity anyway, because we're asking you for what you should have been working on before you did the promotion. So if we're asking you for your SMART objectives of your target market, you shouldn't be thinking about that when you're doing your entry for the HMA Awards. You should have done that when you did the start of the promotion, before you started the promotion earlier in the year. You know, if you got the same with what was the ROI on the activity. So I think entering the awards is a wonderful almost checklist for yourself, that are you following the proper processes in the hotel anyway. And you could almost make our entry form your checklist for any marketing activity that you're planning. So I think, yes, I think there's benefits to entering awards, so long as they aren't just money-making exercises, but certainly the HMA Awards, if you're doing any marketing as a hotel. The other thing we do is, because we declare the judging criteria and the criteria that each category is judged against upfront as part of the process, an independent hotel has as much a chance of winning as a hotel spending £500,000. You know, there is no difference, and you'll know from when you participated in judging. Yeah. Sometimes it is difficult for the judges when they've got a campaign that was run by somebody in front office with no budget up against a £500,000 campaign that involves several agencies and a huge marketing team. But that again is where it's down to us to recruit the right type of judges who can handle that type of situation. And certainly if you look at a list of who's won our awards over the years, there are as many independent hotels, small independent hotels, have won as large chains. You know,
absolutely. So. And I love that. And I love that about judging as well, because you can see with the criteria, you can do it almost like for like, and see whether they've actually made a smarter objective prior to doing the campaign, or whether they've even thought about a return on investment, or whether it was just a whim that they wanted to create a promotion. So yes, you're right, and it's very, very interesting. And I always like to ask on our Showcase Sunday, what would be your 5 top tips? And this is really hard, obviously, because I don't want you to give all the secrets of how to win an award, because that would be very unfair. However, it would be great to know what your 5 top tips are for the Hotel Marketing Association.
Okay. First one, I think, is to use our entry form as your template for future marketing activities, because it's the basic discipline of target market, of ROI, of SMART objectives, you know, approach taken, etc. So I think that's my first tip, because, and then if you're doing that, it makes it very easy to enter our awards at the end of the year if you've been doing that. Second, I think, again, is to read the criteria for each of our categories. So if I was about to do some food and beverage marketing, if I read the criteria that our judges will be judging, that's almost a checklist. You know, should I stand out from the competition? Are you being innovative? Are you being creative? You know, so I think that reading those criteria will not just help you with our awards, but it'll help you do much better marketing, because we put a lot of time and effort into what are we going to ask the judges to evaluate by category, because although there's general criteria, there are very specific detailed criteria by category. So that would be my second tip, is to look at those criteria. Third one, in terms of actually entering any awards, put yourself in the place of a judge who may know especially if you're a tiny independent hotel in the foot of the Malvern Hills, they may not be familiar with your hotel. So put yourself in their shoes. Have you presented the facts clearly to somebody that doesn't know your hotel? You know, have you really sold them on your entry? You know, have you got them excited by what the marketing that you've done? And also make it as easy as possible for them to click through to all the supporting materials, whether you're taking them through to websites or your TikTok channel, or a PowerPoint presentation that was made to members of the travel trade, or whatever. So put yourself in the place of a judge and give your all to that entry. You want to impress the judges, not just with the marketing activity, but with the quality of the entry. My next one would be to make entering awards part of your hotel's business plan, right? This shouldn't be something ad hoc that you suddenly see a tweet from me, later in the year saying, oh, guess what? We've just sort of announced the categories for this year's awards and it's time to start planning your entry. I think any hotel, particularly independent hotels, should up front decide for the year as part of their business plan, which awards are they going to enter? Within those, potentially, if there are different categories, what categories? And that should be part of their business plan. So everybody knows up front that that's part of their strategy to try and win some of those awards, and that it becomes part of what they do, because I think that also helps them to elevate. If you're doing marketing, as opposed to, oh, I can quickly get this promotion out, it's no, wait a minute, this could potentially be an award-winning marketing campaign. Just helps, I think, shift your mindset a little bit. And then I think my final fifth tip is look at what has made an award-winning entry a winner in previous years, because you can learn so much from that. And I looked at a couple of the examples, because, to say, we recently announced the winners, and you could learn so much from those. So, for example, the winner of Best Partnership Marketing this year was Splendid Hospitality for the Hotel Indigo in Edinburgh York Place. And that was a promotion called the Ultimate Giraffe Room Experience, where they teamed up with Edinburgh Zoo and the giraffes that are at Edinburgh Zoo. Now, again, look at what they did. There are a lot of hotels that could team up with local attractions and do things innovative. So look at an entry like that and think, wow, wait a minute, yes, what could we do along those lines? Similarly, the winner of Best Website this year was Rooms Apart Hotel, which is spelled ROOM and then 3 little Z's, Apart Hotel. The judges really raved about that website because they wanted to improve the user experience. And it as a website, it does stand out. It's very easy to use. It's easy to book. There's a great virtual assistant. So again, as a hotel, if you're wanting to improve your website, go and look at what won the best website in the Hotel Marketing Awards. And then you'll see what a great user experience looks like. And you'll see how a website stands out and that you've been on the Rooms website. It's so distinctive. Similarly, the best food and beverage this year was the St Pancras Hotel for their Booking Office 1869 launch. Again, go and look at what they did. You can tell who their target market is. It is so obvious. You can see the amazing quality of the photography and how important it was to do quality photography for an outlet like that. So again, before you plan your next F&B marketing, look at what an award-winning food and beverage launch looks like. And I wanted to give a special mention to the Royal Crescent Hotel in Bath. They got highly commended for Best Leisure Marketing, and they were winner of Best Social Media. Now, if you want to know how to do social media brilliantly, look at all their different channels. Look at how they've used TikTok. Look at how they have a consistent brand identity across the different channels. Look at how they've used humor. I know there was a wonderful part in their entry for social media where they have amazing lawns and gardens there, and it was snowing, and this cheeky little squirrel was digging up this immaculate lawn to bury his nuts in the snow. And they added the theme tune from Game of Thrones because of all the winter concept in that, right? And put that out on social media. Now, I've never forgotten it, as you can tell, but it's the type of thing that I will never forget, that the Royal Crescent Hotel in Bath did that. So, if you dip into the social media of the hotel that won Best Social Media, you will get so inspired and motivated and think, I would have never thought of doing that. And then you can see also how many views things like that get. Yeah. But you can also see how they've maintained the brand identity. There's no point in getting 1 million people looking at it if they're not your target market. So again, by looking at those entries, and then another mention, Best Leisure Marketing. We actually had 2 highly commended there, Royal Crescent, but also Carden Park, who'd done very well. And the winner was the Coniston Hotel up near Skipton, and that was for the launch of their Nadara Spa. Now, again, go and look at what they did to launch that spa, what makes it so special and so different to all the other spa launches that were done. So I think, yes, I know that's a long way of explaining my 5th top tip, but I think it's such a huge thing that because of the nature of our awards, I know with some awards you wouldn't be able to see what the company did to win that award, but with our awards you can go and look at the campaigns that won, and huge learning curve to look at, as I say, even if you just looked at what the Royal Crescent has done from a marketing perspective, trust me, you would be inspired and you'd learn so much, because so much of what they've done is memorable. I mean, I just want to go to the Royal Crescent Hotel in Bath, having seen all their social media.
Absolutely, yeah. And it is interesting, and they are amazing top tips, Pamela, and you learn so much from looking at what others are doing, and especially when you see why they are the winners. And it is a learning curve for a lot of people in the industry and outside the industry as well, of how they're using different elements, different areas. And I think when you're filling the awards in, I always believe, and I always say this to anybody who's thinking about it, when you're filling it in, it actually grounds you in your business of why you do what you do, and who your target market is, and reminds you to focus on your vision, your mission, your ethics and values, and how to, you know, action your roadmap to get to your goals and objectives. It is a really good wake-up call to a lot of businesses when they fill in an awards entry. And it is amazing, because you will learn so much. And I know that's something that you're very passionate about delivering with the awards, the why, the reason why the winners are the winners, or the highly commended, because they do go above and beyond and bring game changer differences in the market, which you know, we've got a really tough industry. And they're doing amazing things, and I think it's incredible to see. You know, I'm going looking at the squirrel social media. What a cracking idea. But what's the process? So when is, you've mentioned that we've already had the awards. Obviously, that was it last week? I remember a couple of weeks ago. So what's the process and what's the timings?
Okay, so we typically launch the awards September, October time. So we tend to wait till we see what sort of because again, we want to make the awards relevant to what sort of marketing is happening. That's why we had, during COVID, we had some very specific sort of almost to COVID marketing categories that just existed for that year and wouldn't exist anymore. So we tend to sort of give ourselves 9 months of the year. So we announce them in October. The entry deadline will then typically be the end of January, and then the awards presentation is towards the end of March. So that's the normal timetable, because obviously we're looking for campaigns that have run during the calendar year. So we're trying to give people the whole year of potential activities, because some activities you need the whole year for them to see the results and calculate the ROI. So that's the timetable. Obviously, a lot of creative agencies, you know, already have that timetable. They've already approached me and wanted to check, because they want to get it into the calendar, and they want to build it into the client's marketing plan for the year of entering the awards. So yeah, that's the timetable. Announce it September, October on obviously the Hotel Marketing Association website, but we will always tweet about it and put it on LinkedIn and so on. Entry deadline end of January, and then award ceremony end of March.
Brilliant. And anybody can enter in the hotel industry?
Yes, you have to. Again, we broadened it slightly a few years ago, because we didn't want to exclude things like, say, a conference centre. Yeah. So you have to have letting bedrooms and be in the UK, and it has to be a UK campaign for you to be able to enter, because we are obviously a UK hotel marketing organisation. But yes, anybody can enter. And again, if anybody's not certain, another thing with our awards is sometimes a campaign may overlap several categories, so you can enter the same campaign in 2 different categories, and the judges don't know that. The judges only see the category that they're judging, so they don't sit there and say, oh, I've already, you know, seen this entry. You know, so again, sometimes you can save yourself some time and effort by entering one campaign. It may be relevant to 2 different categories.
Yeah, definitely. And what advice, obviously you can't give too much away, but what advice would you give anybody who's thinking about entering?
I think is to allow enough time to prepare a top quality entry. Sometimes it can be a little sad in that you think it was great marketing, but it was a lousy entry, and that somebody's just rushed the entry form. And even though we've put, you know, what were your SMART objectives, they then haven't given us SMART objectives. Or we say, what was your target market? and they sort of say, oh, everybody. And I'm thinking, you're a 5-star deluxe hotel. 99% of the country can't afford you. Your target market is not everybody. And that's because somebody hasn't sat down and thought properly. I'm sure when they did the marketing activity, they'd identified those things, but sometimes people just try to rush the entry process, and therefore give us a poor quality entry form. So I'd just say, you know, you've devoted all the time and money and effort into the marketing, so make sure that you sit down and focus when you do the entry, because it's a shame when we do get entries and they just haven't given the judges what they need to judge the entry properly. So just allocate the time and take it seriously enough. You know,
it is heartbreaking for a judge to see that, because you think that's an amazing campaign, but you've not actually passed the criteria.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think, as I said earlier, I think if, especially independent hotels that probably don't have formats, you know, if you're a chain hotel, you have formats for these things and templates you have to follow. If you don't, you know, use our entry form as a template for any marketing, and then it's almost sitting there ready, because we ask for smart marketing objectives, we ask for target audience, we ask for what approach you took, we ask you to quantify your results, and then we ask you to tell us why it's a winning campaign. And just on that, so that people understand, we never, any data you give us is treated in the strictest confidence. The judges sign off to say that they know that data is confident. And when we announce winners and even the reasons why, we may just say, oh, traffic to the website increased significantly. We never share the actual figures that an entry gives us, because the judges need to see the figures, not just know significant, they need to know from what to what. But again, we always treat that, that's part of, again, why I've always continued to manage the awards, because the entries only sit on my computer. You know, they don't get stuck on a shared drive or anything. And I just individually deliver them by email to the judges. But yeah, so I think using our entry form as if you're a small hotel, using our entry form as a template for any marketing activity for mapping those things out is a great discipline anyway. And then it helps you when it comes to entering the awards.
And any other awards that they want to enter, it gives you a really good template. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Gosh, you've given lots of great content there, and how to actually enter the awards. That's amazing. And obviously, if someone's wanting to enter the awards, how did they do it? They now know the process, but how do they actually do it? What are the contact details and everything?
They just go to the Hotel Marketing Association website, which is hotelmarketingassociation.com. And as soon as the details are available, or follow us on LinkedIn, again, Hotel Marketing Association, because as soon as the information is available, our website is the first place that it appears. If you go on there now, you'll obviously see the winners from this year and some photos from the event. But yes, the Hotel Marketing Association website is the place to go for the information when it's available.
And go and research what everybody else has already done and do it better for this next year.
Well, and as I said earlier, I think if you look at the judging criteria for our different categories, then I think, you know, that again is a useful checklist when you are doing marketing. You know, and it perhaps sometimes, because sometimes it can be all too easy to forget that, you know, you're trying to stand out from your competitors. I was taught in very early days of marketing, if you could superimpose a competitor's hotel name or brand name on your activity, you have failed big time. Yeah. Because your identity should be so distinctive that you shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, without a doubt. I love that. I love that. Gosh, thank you very much, Pamela. So thank you very much for joining me on a Sunday, Pamela. Thank you, and happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend and all the best. Thank you very much for joining me, Pamela.
Thank you, everybody.